Hi everyone. Hope you're good. Hi, hi, hi. So it's Vali from Business Nomad. So happy to be here with you today. We are doing another live. So I will present myself before we start, and after I will jump in for the question. So I'm Fali. I'm a business consultant. I'm also doing coaching for people who want to jump in the journey of being an entrepreneur but also a digital nomad, and that's why we're here now, because I will answer some questions people always ask me, um, because they were dreaming about it, and we have to see if like it's sometimes something that you love, something that you're looking for. Does that work for you? So anyway, in this live I will answer the question. So let's jump in. um, so the first question I will answer, the question is, what strategy do you use to ensure a stable internet connection while traveling to various destinations? It's really a challenge to have internet, and that's really necessary when you travel and you work at the same time. You have to be sure to have a stable connection, and you're not in control, because depending of the country, the city, the structure, the infrastructure, uh, depending of the situation of the house, uh, the internet can be really fast or really slow. So the first thing I will ask, is for the manager of the apartment, or the owner. Ask the person, how is the internet, how is the internet, and explain them that you need really good internet because you're working. So that's the first thing, and also ask them the situation, because maybe they won't be able to change it. But if you ask them like, what is the situation, can I work there, can I not, and they will tell you. Also, you can check the comments on the apartment or where you want to stay. The second thing, I will check for co-working space around to be ready, co-working space and cafe. So if something got wrong, you have a plan B, you know. I will say that. And also, when I arrive to a country, the third thing, it will be to right away buy a SIM card and got data. Uh, that way, you won't be in trouble. You also, I don't know if you know about eSIM. So it's a card, electronic SIM that you can put on your phone, and you won't lose the SIM from your original country if you want to keep in touch, or you need to be in contact and you don't want to remove your SIM card of your phone. Um, you can have that option. I think it's not all of the phone who can do that, but it's being more and more common. So you should check that out. Um, and do you have another cafe, eSIM, talking to the landlord, the manager? And yeah, and also like, if that way, like example, if you are in the apartment or in the co-working and or in cafe and it doesn't work, you have the option of the data. And sometimes you can have so many data for really not expensive, so it's really really worth it checking. And maybe the last thing, it's like, go go around, go test. So example, before your day of work, sorry, or before a meeting, before you start your weekday, go to a cafe and check, oh, how is the internet there. Test it, call a friend and say, hey, can we do a video call? I just want to check to see if it's good. The same thing for the co-working space, and the same thing for your place, because you don't want to like jump in a call and you can't hear the client, and you don't want the person to feel like, oh, it doesn't work, what's going on, you have to schedule, and the stress is so high. um the stress is so high because of that, so just don't do it. And yeah, and maybe like I can talk to you about an experience I had the first time. I don't the last live I told you, like, to test when you want to be a digital nomad. Like, maybe it's not necessarily, depending of your character, your personality, it's not necessarily a good idea to jump in 6 months or a year as a digital nomad, because maybe it won't be for you, to test it. So that's what I did. I went to see a friend. It was in Querétaro. It's a city in Mexico. It's a really nice city. It's really beautiful. I really love it. It's really, yeah, the vibe is really good. And I went to see her. It was my first year as an entrepreneur. I had some clients, and I was like, "Ooh, I'm ready to test it. Let's go." And I went there, and at her place, I feel the internet was good. I remember the internet was good, because she needed, and she's like, "Don't worry," and she's right. And I was like, "Okay, cool." And so I worked there, and it was only for a week, or week and a half, there. And she invited me to her school, to talk to her student, to speak in English with them, because when I was back home few months before, we did a Zoom call with the student, and with every one of them, we talk. They asked me a question, I answer, and they ask, I asked them a question, so to be comfortable to speak in English. And so it was fun to see them face to face. Hey, I'm here, I'm in Mexico, can we meet? So I spent a day at the school, and we had that activity of talking in English, and it was really cool. But I had a call with a client, and she told me, yeah, internet is really good, don't worry, it will work. So the call arrived, I think it was during lunchtime, so we finished with the student, and internet was not working. I was freaking out. I was freaking out. The internet was not working. We went to see the tech guy, and he tried to make it work. It didn't work. We went to a different class, still didn't work. It was, and during that time, it was like 8, 9 years ago. So now the speed of internet and the stability, like every around the world, it's really better. It's like really different than 8, 9 years ago. And I didn't have data, I didn't thought about it, like everything is so much better now, things are so much easier. Yeah, so I didn't have data, she didn't have data. But I think I talked a little bit to that client, and I told him, hey, can we reschedule it? And he was really cool, really nice guy. And he said, yeah, no problem. Let's reschedule it. And I scheduled it at the time that I was at her house, and it went well. So it's never a problem to reschedule, and it's happened, but the level of stress, that was really intense. So that's why I'm like, just check before. And when I arrived at the school, I could have tested first to see if it worked, and after just finding a solution, and I didn't. So, oh man, just try to avoid that kind of stress if you can. It will be good with those tips. um, Well, let's keep in that direction. What are your favorite co-working space or environment for remote work, and why? Um, I love working from home. I'm so used to it because it's calm. I can control my environment. Can be like really simple. Sometimes I don't want to like people like I just want to like normally it will be a white wall and it will be like um, really like plain. I don't want the person who, if I'm in a business meeting, I don't want the person to be distracted by my environment, uh, feel a certain way. And it's not about my environment, it's about like talking to the person and making stuff happen, finishing the meeting or whatever, So that's why for me it's really important. Um, I love co-working space for meeting. I love co-working space when I need to get out because I'm working so much at home and I need to change environment. And also that I don't have meeting, so I can have like I can just be on my zone. So I love to go to co-working space during that moment, that period of time during my week. I love to go to cafe, but I will go to cafe when I'm with friends. Some people go just like by themselves. For me, I'm like if I'm by myself, I prefer to go to co-working space, but because they have a kitchen, I will be more comfortable. I can stay a long time. I don't like to stay like hours to a cafe. I'm just like, after a moment, I'm like, oh, okay, I just want to leave. So I will prefer to go to a cafe, like doing some co-working session. Um, in that cafe and having interaction and being like with someone, and because it can be really like a lone journey to be entrepreneur, so having people that you can go work with and motivate yourself, and it will change your routine. um, Another thing I love to do, because I want to keep connection with my friend and colleague from my like from Canada. So I will do also online co-working session, one-to-one with group, and also with Business Nomad. We create a co-working session bi-weekly. Every Friday, it's 12 CST time when we do co-working session, because that's something I did for a long time. I love to do. And sometimes I do co-working session like spontaneously, just, hey, hi, do you want to have a co-working session with me, and let's do it. So different moment. And for the co-working session with Business Nomad, it's a free, so you can check the link tree, and you can come. It will be fun. We also have mastermind. So one week it's the mastermind, so you brainstorm with the entrepreneur and digital nomad around the world. And the other time is the co-working session, when you focus on what you talk during the brainstorm, or a project that you have that you procrastinate, or just something you need to do work, no criteria. So yeah, so that's my favorite place to work and environment, and why. I'm wondering, you can write in the comments, like, for you, what is the best environment to work, and also why you prefer that and why you prefer another one. Okay, so how do you choose your next destination, and what factors are essential in making that decision? mm, I think it will be four criteria. Internet. Because if I don't have internet, like I can do nothing except if it's for vacation. So internet. Few place I didn't go because of internet. Because when it's unstable, it's give you stress that it's not necessary, and I don't like to be stressed. If I can avoid stress, I will avoid. Some people don't, doesn't matter for them, but for me, like, the better the internet is, the more happy I am. And I need option. So internet, also a community. What I mean by community, it's not necessarily a digital community, digital nomad community. It could be that, but it's also like I know someone there, I have a friend there, or a friend who have a friend there. So why I love that is because when you go to a new country, you don't know everything. You don't know where to go. You don't know the safe place. Yes, you can check on internet, but to have someone who will like be able to like ask answer your question, and also will be there if you need to. It feels safe. For me, it's a question of safety and feel safe. Um, and after, when you're there, you will meet friend. You will not friend, but you will meet people that can be friend, and you will find people and a community. But for the first, I really love every time I go somewhere, I have friend there. That it's my first criteria, one of my first. And if I don't have a friend, I will example write on Facebook and say, "Hey, I'm going to that place. Did you someone in my network? Do they know that place? Do they have recommendation? How is the safety? How is the internet? Do you have like someone you can put me in contact, a friend of you?" So that way, it will create that stability and safety, but also it will stability, safety, uh, and oh, I forget what I wanted to say. Stability, safety, and a groundedness too. Like I feel more grounded when I'm there. So yeah, and culture too. Like because for me, I'm a foodie. I love food. So a place where good food, a nice art. I love culture. I love art. I love music. So for me, that's the kind of activity I love to do. And everyone is different. Like some people, it will be like the spiritual vibe. Some people, like for me, also the museum. Some people will be the food. Some people will be the salsa community. Some people will do the tango or the break dance. You know, it will be about dance. Sorry about the dog. um, some people, it will be about, I don't know, martial art, you know. So it's like, what is it's fun to connect your passion with travel, because you can discover a really amazing community around it, with other people who are passionate. And after that, the language disappear, you know, because you just want to figure it out how to talk to everyone about it. I met that guy who for him his dream, and he's working on it, because is to go to every country around the world and go to the salsa festival. And he had a, I don't know the website, but a website with all of the salsa festival around the world, you know. So it's really fun. So yeah. And also my last criteria will be the language, because it will be easier, um, or at least like if they speak a little bit of English. I really love language. Like I said in other video, I speak four language now, and it's amazing. I don't understand how it happened, but it happened. And because in high school I was like not like didn't feel comfortable with language, but I love words. I love words. So anyway, so just to make it easier, you know, but it's not a top criteria, because I went to some country that I didn't speak the language, but I could figure out a way to talk to the person. Like in Portugal, it was so fun. I love that country. I Because I speak Spanish and I speak English and French, I was mixing the word, and it's really, really amazing in Lisbon. It's really cosmopolitan. So people talk different, like this. They talk at least two language. So sometimes it will be like Portuguese and English and a little bit of word in French. So it's really nice because you like just mixing the language and the word and they will understand you. So it's like, I think like I enjoy it so much. Um, let me see. Mm, I want to be sure. Oh yeah, how do you handle time zone difference while you're collaborating with your clients or team members? So the tool I will use. Oh, sorry. Well, I just said like one thing. It will be the tools. Um, so I will work with collaboration tools because it's so important that people will have access to everything. First for transparency, but also like if computer is stole or cell phone, um, I can just go to the access of the website and not delete it, but change my password or change the access, change the password, notify the company that my computer was stole, and put the and also like with the verification security, like the yeah. Um, so with that, I feel it's more safe because if it's all in your computer, like okay, yeah, the person don't have a password except if you didn't put one. Please put the password in your computer. Um, uh, like yeah, everything it will be on my computer, and I will be so uncomfortable. So collaborative too, and so Drive, Dropbox. If you're looking for something and you're not sure what to use, um, I love to use like Slack because, for example, for WhatsApp, I'll use WhatsApp, but it will be for friendship and family. And for Slack, it will be for work. So I will separate really my business life and my personal life because if everything is in the same app, I don't have control of what I want to see and what I don't want to see. I was working with that client, and that was an issue because she's like the people she was working with, the time zone was like 12 hours difference. So they were calling her or texting her at 3 a.m. in the morning, and they wanted to be respectful and they were waiting, but they only have one way to communicate with her, and it was WhatsApp. So we put different thing in place, and we put in place the Slack tool because it will separate the communication, and we also create different channel. The same for the the file and everything, and we put like different tools in place to make it happen. So that's kind of the type of work I can do with my clients, and I swear, like she's like after that, she felt so relieved, guys, so relieved. So don't hesitate to separate like business and personal in your device, in the way you work, because if you're working as a digital nomad and you have different time zone, it will be so hard. I will say also put a clear schedule when a clear schedule because like be clear about when people can call you, and like an email or professional email so you can choose when you will look at it. If it's in your personal mail, maybe it's on your phone and you will check it all the time and you will be surprised, like you wake up and it's like or yeah. So that's how I will do it. I will separate professional and personal because it could be really hard, and that client, like, she feels so much more in peace and relaxed, and thing was so much easier. And I had like different experience. I like I said, I work, I travel in different time zone, and I work with people in different time zone. So it's really important to put different stuff in place, like the example I just said to you, because it will be hard if you're not like it's already hard when you just like in a normal time zone. So can you imagine if like it's different? So the next and last question is, can you discuss the role of mentorship in your journey as a digital nomad? Um, I had different mentors during my journey because, and I think it's really important because you will be in different phase of your business, and every time you change phase, you new way of doing things that you never knew before, like the phase of hiring someone, the phase of having more clients, the phase of I can't do it all by myself. And it's funny, like every phase of your business, you have to stretch yourself, and you have to change the way you see things, your mindset. You have to change your time management, because, and also the perception of if you have a team also, because sometimes you're like, oh, I'm so overwhelmed, and you change your schedule, and you find new tools, but you're like, I'm still overwhelmed. And it's like, well, maybe it's time for you to have someone, and you're like, oh, I never had someone, I never thought about it, because it will be the first time you thought that the stuff you did in the past like was working, so it should work now, and you feel so much overwhelmed. But so different thing like that. So yeah, I will say a mentor is really important because you never went to that journey in some phase. And if you want to like have ambitious, and you can talk to someone, like if you don't know where to start to have a mentor, it could be consultation, business coach like I do, but it also can be like someone in your environment who's successful um, in what they're doing, and they are kind of in the same field, or they're not in the same field but they are where you want to go. Could be someone like can ask question. If he has the person not have time, you can do regular call. It will have a limit, because it's really like a volunteer and a generous um, a generous I don't know how to say it. The person is generous to offer his time, but it's a good way to start. And it's really nice to have people around you who have the experience and can share it to you. And when you don't know what to do, you can just call them and say hi, and ask questions. So mentor, coach, consultation, personal development, because like having a business, it's really like about you are the main character in your business, and you have to stretch and um, discover a new way of thinking, a new way of being, a new way of doing stuff. We're so used to be a employee, most of us. And even though like some of us have parents who were entrepreneur, like probably they didn't show you like how to manage or how to do that, or the way they were doing it, it's not the way you want to do it, so um except if you have a family business and you were really into it, it will be a different story. But if you went to the general path of going to school, going to university, work. Um, yeah, you don't know a lot of stuff to grow the business, And maybe the last thing I will say about it, it's like don't underestimate having a job. Like when you are starting as a student, and you're like, oh, I want to be an entrepreneur, I want to create my job, my own business. But you need the experience, like it's so important, the experience in company, because they have people have company, it's a company when you work for, so check like uh, the manager, how they work, how they structure, see them in a different lens, um, because it will, what you learn in work, you will use it in your business, so um, sales, managing, structure, operation, it's happening in business, hiring, when you work, it's really a good school, like integrity, the way you will present yourself, the way you will talk to clients, the way you will manage clients. So I know they have a culture of like doing a business right away, but having experience is really good too. So yeah, so I'm done for today. I hope you enjoy it. I'm really happy I was there with you. So I'm Fali from Business Nomad. It was really a pleasure, and see you later.